it's Larissa. All right, I'm coming back to you with a hot topic, and it's all about being submissive as a wife. I got married about a year and a half ago, and I am still trying to navigate being a new wife. And one of the big topics is whether or not to be submissive. What does it even mean to be submissive? And I want to start by saying that submissive does not mean not having a voice. It has absolutely nothing to do with that, actually. Being submissive is very misinterpreted by many people as you giving up your right to have an opinion and to be able to talk and to be able to make any decisions of your own, really. And it's not about that. It's about really just understanding that every person is good at something and another is good at something else. And there are things in our household that I'm very good at, and my husband kind of steps back and lets me have control over it. And in turn, he does the same. I do the same. He is very good at some things, and I just can't necessarily handle the things that he can handle, and then he takes care of that. So, with that in mind, I wanted to make sure that every woman out there that is told to be submissive, don't take it in the wrong way. In no way, shape, or form, you're meant to not have a voice and to obey somebody blindly. First of all, you have to have a lot of wisdom when picking who your husband is meant to be and who you want to spend the rest of your life with. And you have to match a lot of your likes and dislikes, and the person has to have, and that's vice versa for men, praying or thinking about getting married. You have to see if the person has qualities that are compatible with you, as well as sort of things you don't necessarily like, but you can live with. You don't want to marry somebody that you just don't want to spend time with, or that doesn't have the same mindset as you. With that in mind, if you're aligned and if you're in the same page about things, it will be very easy to kind of distribute roles. And when the submissive term comes into play, it will be much easier to understand what that means. If you're not in a relationship that's abusive, if you're with the person that has a similar mindset to yours, and if you're doing things for the progress of the family, it's going to be much easier to step back when it's not necessarily your turn, or when you're not necessarily good, but you're not as good as the other person may be in something like finances, or where to move next, or cooking. A lot of those things can be done and should be done by both parties in a relationship. But some things are better done by one person, and knowing how to distribute that role makes a huge difference in a relationship, whether it is looking after the kids or staying at home or raising them, which obviously both should be doing. But what I wanted to say is that submissive does not mean losing your voice. And I was caught up in that. We women, many years, and many hundreds of years, have gone through this liberation, and it's beautiful to watch the things that we can do and be empowered to do nowadays. But we also want to make sure that we're not undermining men because of that. We want to be equal, right? Isn't that the whole point? Is not to be more, to be oppressive. It's not, none of that. We want to be equal. We want to have a voice, and we want to be heard, just as I'm sure that they do. So it's very interesting that the word submissive is taken as you pulling back and kind of just living what somebody else is telling you to do. I do consider myself a submissive wife, in the sense of I love my husband very much, and I do everything in my power to go ahead and create the environment that I we desire for our family at home. And in turn, he loves me and gives me that voice and space that I need to create all of this that we have talked about and that we have imagined for our household. So, not that I necessarily need to get a permission to do anything, or, I don't need to obey anything, but there are some aspects of being in a relationship that just need a lot of respect and waiting your turn. I allow him to do certain things, and in turn he allows me to do certain things, and we go about it, as a give and take, as every relationship should be. A lot of people forget that along with the being submissive as a wife, command, it comes with the husband being extremely devoted and loving of the wife. The submissive comes with respect, but the protection comes with love, and that can be really tough as well, especially in our day and age. I just wanted to make sure that we understood that being submissive has nothing to do with being less, or being small, or being a servant. There's nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that us women, generally speaking, not to say that everybody's the same way. I'm me, you're you. But we tend to have a nicer approach to things. We tend to think more about things, and we tend to be more. We tend to be more able to work with things. We just tend to be more understanding, and we tend to be more caring. And their command is to allow us to be that person while they're loving us and just absolutely pouring their love and respect and praise on us. So if you're starting out and you're thinking whether or not you should be submissive, just keep in mind that you have a voice, and the person you choose to be with, or if you're already with a person, sit down and talk to them about how you want to run the household, what should belong to whom, and what's the best way to move forward in a relationship that you're starting out, or a family you're starting out. Another thing that I absolutely understand that has to happen when you have kids is both parties have to agree on something. And if you don't agree with something, do not disagree in front of the kid. Don't. They will use it against you. They will absolutely take you apart. And I did that as a child. My dad said I couldn't do something. I'd ask my mom and I could do something, and therefore I did something. And, it just causes strain. So if you don't agree on something, don't disagree on it in front of the child. Just try to think about that. It's hard to put in practice because there will be times you will disagree. But, try to work it out. Try to be understanding of each other. And try to work your way into submission in a way that you're both heard, that you're both loved, and that you're both going towards this amazing, amazing future God has for you. All right. With that, you guys, please subscribe, comment downstairs, comment down below. And I will see you in another video. Enjoy.